Yeah.
Sounds.
Yeah, we're live.
That we're good.
Right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Bro. Well done. Other side of Pascha, other side of Lent.
Yes.
Welcome everybody.
Come through.
Oh, Christ is risen.
Christ is risen.
Was-
Truly is risen.
Christos voskresie.
Voice was crazy.
Christos einviat.
I don't know Romanian.
Adevărat einviat. Christos anesti.
Alithos anesti.
Yeah. So that was a long push
Yeah.
towards
Yeah.
like kind of waylaid us a little bit, but here we are enjoying
We're here.
again a nice
Yeah.
drink and a nice smoke. And of course for the guys on New Calendarists or Anglo boys is St George's Day.
Yes. Yeah. St George's Day today. Pray for St
For
George.
us, yeah. So yeah, thanks for everybody for joining us. We are we've got a couple of things to try today.
Yeah.
We've got some ciders, kind of in line with the St George's Day. We're going very Anglo. I've got my tweeds on.
It
got
felt
the
like
box of cider out.
It felt like a cider kind of day.
Yeah. So what wood have you got on there, bro? What's the?
I have got my Savinelli Oscar Tiger billiard with a saddle stem.
Yeah.
Which is a lovely pipe.
Yeah.
And we're both going to have a little try of some Peterson Deluxe Navy rolls.
We're opening that.
Yes.
live.
Yeah.
Live on air. I've got some 3Ps that's ready to rub. I've got my trusty Peterson Aaron curved, and I've got my little Savinelli tandem.
Yeah. Basically, since the last live stream. By the way, thanks for being patient with us. I know it's been a while, and we had some setbacks and stuff, but we're back. Well, basically, since the last live stream, Anthony of Bourbon Neophyte mentioned that the beast that he was smoking and all that perique that was in it, and that in tandem with the weather, kind of like brightening up, it made me like really want some perique.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of 27 Lowther Street left,
Right.
which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Smoked it on Pascha actually.
Yeah.
And then I had some Louisiana flake, but it's not super strong on the perique.
Oh, it's such a nice one.
It's nice,
I asked you last time. I was like, have you got in there?
Yeah.
Some Louisiana.
It's got a chocolate casing.
I'm ordering. That's really good.
Anyway, let's hear that hiss.
Yeah.
Let's hear that hiss.
Oh,
Nice hiss.
there you go.
Okay.
So this is a new one for me. I've
Yeah,
never
me
touched
too.
Navy rolls.
Me too.
Another good Dunhill blend though. Am I right?
It's an old Dunhill blend,
Yeah.
that I believe that Peterson have picked up.
Yeah.
Um,
Same as the early morning pipe and
a nightcap, yeah. So,
What you getting?
it smells like a classic perique. It's got the fruitiness and the little bit of spice, figs and dates.
Figs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dried fruit. I'm just going to show the cut because that is very unusual for me at least. Anyway.
Yeah.
I was kind of I don't know what I was expecting. When they talk about Navy rolls, I was kind of thinking about like a rope.
A rope,
right? Yeah,
twist,
that you cut. And sometimes you get the twists, and they've got they've still got the bits of the rope left that you're ready to rub out. But they are they're good. They're good chunky cuts.
Yeah.
They are.
Well, it looks to me like it probably begins life as a thick rope and then it gets cut. So
Yeah.
let's get this out onto a tray.
Do it. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Oh.
Oh. Right. Take one, bro.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's go for that.
I'll rub this out.
Yeah. We get one in one and one in the other.
James is already in the house. Cheers, lads. I have another stream on with some Aussie celebrating German Beer Day.
Oh, alright.
Hello, I didn't know it was German Beer
St
Day.
George's Day. Whoa.
Yeah. Regards from London. So you got the Woodford. Yeah. Thanks for popping in, James. Yeah, we're on the Woodford. I think we're going to go with the ciders.
Yeah.
But I brought it just in case. Thanks, dude. It doesn't look like one coin is very much, unless I've got a big ball.
Well, you have got a big ball. Which is why I've gone for the Sav for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Good call.
So, that's.
I think this is a 2 coin story.
That sounds like a challenge. I'll shy away from a challenge,
So, yeah, lovely, like classic
Bright as well.
vapor aromas.
Yeah.
Figgy and fruity, a little bit of spice. So, yeah. About 2 coins does that. Very much of it.
Go for it. Yeah, weather's turned a little bit here. Typical sort of April weather. You never really know what you're doing with weather at Easter time here. But it has been quite nice, and then today it really took a gloomy turn. That's fine. We're inside, having a smoke's fine if we're in the Green Dragon at mine. So we're all good.
Exactly, which we've decided on as the new name
Yeah.
of the stream. We're going to call it the Green Dragon. So we like that.
Listen, if you're going to smoke pipe and brew it and drink ales, then I guess sometimes you have to
Exactly.
you have to play the part, don't you?
So I mean, straight away, classic vapor taste. Like I said, nice and sweet.
Yeah.
It's got that spice that I was looking for. That kind of like mulled red wine.
Yeah.
Baking spices, a little bit of pepper.
Yeah.
And the dried fruit, the kind of like stewed fruits thing that I really wanted, to be honest. So
Don't get a lot off the rub.
no.
It's quite mild. You get some and you're rubbing out like even the Condor ready rubbed, and you kind of open it up a little bit because it's never really fully rubbed,
Yeah.
and you get loads off that. You get all the
True.
all
Yeah.
the, all the dark.
Yeah. I
fruits
mean, it's a
and
good
stuff.
point. I don't think it's particularly
It's quite
cased.
subtle.
Yeah. But delicious. So, right. Tammy says, hi guys. Hi, Tammy.
Hiya, Tammy. I'm really sorry. I don't know the Georgian for Christ is risen in Georgian, but I will.
Oh, is
it's
Tammy the...
Tammy.
Oh, right.
But I will learn.
Oh, hi, Tammy. Thanks for joining in. I thought it was another Tammy.
But shout out for Tammy. Tammy's a makeup artist, friend of ours, Orthodox.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good at what she does, and she's worth a follow on Instagram. It's Tammy MUA. She's got all this stuff on there, so thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, Tammy. James says, you ever try the Wilsons from up the road in Sheffield? We haven't tried the Wilsons yet.
I haven't, but I've got my trusty tin of Wilson's and Sharrow Kendall Brown ready to have a little pinch on later. Very, very good. Oh, am I right in thinking that Wilson's supplied...
Yeah, well, I picked this tin up this morning from Bridge News in Matlock, and I just got talking to the guy a little bit, and he said that he orders this in from Wilson's, so they were stocking that. But no, James, we haven't tried the Wilson's range yet, but something that we want to. But yeah, this, I've got to say, this is a lovely smoke. It was a good smoking moisture right off the bat, and it was just the nice perique taste that I was craving, to be honest. So that was a good buy.
Yeah, that double hit of Virginia and perique is really good.
Beautiful.
Very
So
good.
yeah, it's been Pascha, it's been Easter.
Busy time.
Yeah, it was a busy time.
Busy. But good. Busy. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. We were over here. We had a little something to eat.
Yeah.
Had a little drink.
Yeah.
Went to
Services?
church. Yeah,
Yeah.
went to church.
Had something more to drink.
Yeah, had a bit more.
Something more to smoke. Yeah.
We had a little Drew Estate sun-grown coronet, which was really nice.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
a little bit Cuban-esque, we both thought.
Yeah.
It was really sweet and delicious.
Yeah. Surprised that wasn't Cuban.
I can't believe it's not Cuban.
That's a good New World cigar.
Yeah, and I've been enjoying the AJ Fernandez lately. I don't want to get into cigar talk, but
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying the AJ Fernandez lately. Really like full-bodied sticks. A lot of good flavors in them. So, but yeah, so it's been bright week. So we've been feasting.
Yeah.
We've been partying.
It's been good.
And it feels good. Yeah.
Especially I think like this year as well. Lent's been a real slog. I think there's been stuff that's gone off in church and outside.
Oh yeah,
It's been
for both
really,
of us,
really
yeah.
hard work. So, and it's always the way. But yeah, it's good to get back on the wagon.
Yeah.
So I think we've in terms of kind of our frequency and our like cadence of getting these up and running, I think we're going to try and push for one a week now, aren't we?
Exactly. Well, we've got a bit of a mentor. Give him a shout out.
Let's give Scott a shout out.
Yeah.
So for those who haven't already, because I know there's probably a couple that already have, but Scott Mannion, Greenwood on YouTube, if you haven't checked his channel out yet, I would go as far as to say any self-respecting ortho bro and Anglo and
Yeah.
general traditionalist
It's so good.
Cheers, bro. Yeah, good health to you. Would get an awful lot out of his stuff. So he's, if I called him the Anglo Pajot, I think that's probably doing Scott a bit of a disservice.
Yeah,
because it's deeper than that, isn't it?
There was a time when I said that to you, but I actually think he surpasses Pajot.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
for sure. So he's been, supportive of what we've been doing, and he's said that he thinks we ought to be doing one a week, and he challenged us to commit to 10 weeks of putting out one a week.
Yeah.
And the idea being that it'll become second nature, that we make time to do it. I mean, I'm sure even if we were pressed for time, if we could just do a half an hour one,
yeah.
But I think it's a good call, and I think we should commit to that. Yeah, doing one a week.
Yeah, do for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such a bind, isn't it? Drinking and smoking a pipe.
Look, someone's
got to do it, bro. Someone's got to do it. Oh, it's tough. It's a tough job.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? So that's what we're here for.
I love this. Every time you relight it, you get a hit with the sweet. There's good sugar content in there.
Yeah.
The fruit, the spice. I love it. Highland Duncan, who's often comments on us. Afternoon, guys. Opened my first aromatic this week. Not for me. Had me stretching to a spare tin of Squadron Leader Happy Smoking. Yeah.
Oh, Squadron Leader.
Squadron Leader's great. Yeah. It was Dion's first smoke.
It
actually.
was.
Yeah.
One smoke. Yeah. That nice Latakia Virginia combo. That 1-2.
Quintessential English blend.
Bro, 100%.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Beautiful blend. What aromatic did you smoke, Duncan? I'm not a huge aromatic fan either.
See, I am.
Yeah.
But I've not smoked any for ages. Since I picked up that 3Ps. The 3Ps is such a great blend. It's such a great blend. Just Virginia, I think.
3Ps?
Yeah.
No, it's got burley.
Burley, sorry. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Quite burley dominant.
But lovely. Really easy smoke. Any time of day as well. You get some that obviously got nightcap and you've got early morning and they're good for nighttime and first pipe of the day respectively. But,
exactly.
But the 3Ps, man, I can pack that at any time of day and enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's such a good smoke. And a lot of the flakes, I've been kind of steering away a little bit from the aromatics.
Yeah.
I'll still go back to some, and there's pipes that I think are really good with aromatics. Love an aromatic in the cob.
Aromatic in cob is, I mean, one aromatic that, and when I say aromatic, I mean sort of like Black Cavendish dominant aromatics. I do like the Stockaby Nougat.
Nougat's nice.
That's a nice smoke in a cob, definitely.
Black and brown as well, man.
Black and brown is good too, yeah. I always keep that in the car actually with a cob just for like a little impromptu smoke if I want. Lazy Day. I haven't tried that. Is that Chieftains? I'm speaking to Duncan now. Sorry, the Mad Piper said hi mates. Hi Mad Piper, thanks for joining in, bro. Duncan says Lazy Day. I believe that is a Chieftains blend. I think. I'm not sure though, but I haven't tried any of the Chieftains.
Would you like Mitchell's?
They've got two blends in there. I think one is Blacksmith's, which is an English Latakia, and I'm not sure about the other one. James says I still rate the Majestic if you like an aromatic. I like the cherry from Cavendish. Maybe Majestic is something to look into.
Yeah.
Duncan says it's Chieftain. Yeah, I haven't tried any of the Chieftains. I think they're a relatively new blending house, but might be worth looking into.
Yeah. And speaking of new, I'm kind of half celebrating this month, so I'm going to pick it. It's just come a little bit too soon for this podcast, but who knows? Like for next week's, it should be available. So I've picked up a new Near Up Church Warden. Because I'm smoking more Virginias now, and I'd had a look at a couple of channels. I really can't for the life of me remember which one it is, so I'm really sorry I can't give a shout out now, but what I will do is I'll find which channel it was and I'll put it in the comments for the guy who was recommending how to get a good experience smoking Virginias.
Alright.
Good based old lad. Sounded like he was a Kentucky lad or a Tennessean. But he recommended longish stem. Doesn't necessarily have to be a church warden.
Right,
it can be a 3/4 or just a good size, long straight, and a nice tall bowl to sort of coat with those sharper edges. In the hotter smoke, the hotter burn for a Virginia.
Yeah.
And after that, I thought, do you know what? That's a good shout. I need a new church warden. I need a new church warden, but I don't want too long. And I wanted one that was like a 3/4, like the
Bing,
the Bing and the Clarks.
and the Clarks, yeah.
But I got my head turned on GQ Tobacco with this near up one. So,
yeah, it's very nice. Yeah.
Nice, very unusual. And I'm always kind of a bit of a fan of the strange and unusual. So
yeah.
we'll give it a go.
It's a beautiful pipe.
It is. Yeah, it's a shame it's not here yet, but
it'll be up for the next one
time,
for sure.
Definitely.
Flat Cat Piper says happy Sunday to everyone.
Great name.
Yeah,
great name.
Yeah, we both like a Flat Cat.
Yeah.
James says that was a Wilson's from Sharrow Aromatic.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we've been saying we're going to try the Wilsons.
We will.
But I think all this talk leads nicely into one of the topics that we wanted to talk about, because we have a regular commenter, English guy out of Poland, Matt. He asked us if we would go over the varieties of tobaccos and, you know, kind of like how they taste and their roles in the blends and stuff. So,
cool.
Like we were just saying, talking about Virginia. Virginia is typically in most blends.
Bright.
Yeah. Well, it
can be typically.
It's typically bright, yeah. And you know you get your bright Virginias, which are like yellow in appearance, and then they go all the way to like, you know, darker, like you would find in Samuel Gower's Best Brown or something.
Yeah.
So when they yellow, and you know, and then gradients along the way that are sort of like more orangey, but basically they start off at very bright, which is like very lemony. Citrusy, bready kind of colours, flavours, and then they move toward the darker side, which are a bit more like dried dark fruits kind of thing. Yeah. But they do, like we've been saying, they are biters typically, and you get straight Virginia blends, which are, you know, entirely Virginias, and they do bite. I think it's something to do with the chemistry of the tobaccos. I think it's something to do with the alkalinity.
Yeah.
I might be talking rubbish here, but they do bite. But like you were saying, a taller bowl is good for Virginias.
Yeah.
A longer stem. I also think cobs are great for Virginias. Cobs seem to reduce the bite.
Falcon?
And exactly, that's the last one. Falcon, yeah. Falcon, that humidome on the bottom.
It's so forgiving.
Yeah, it's really forgiving, and it puts some distance between your mouth and the smoke.
Yeah. Very dry.
Yeah, very dry and cool. So that's a good way to enjoy your Virginias. And like I said, they tend to be in almost all blends. You might not find them in the Cavendish Aromatics. You don't find it in Nightcap, actually. It's not in Nightcap. But it is in most blends. So, yeah, we're looking at kind of like citrusy, bright kind of flavors there. Even towards the darker end, they tend to keep those flavors. The next one to talk about would be Burley, I think, which is
not quite as common over here, is it?
It's not. It seems to be something that Americans are more fond of.
Luckily.
Yeah.
Because we love it.
Yeah, we love it. We love Burley. Yeah, and there are a few. Luckily we've got a few nice Burleys over here, but it seems to be something that in America they like more and they do a lot more of. But the Burley flavors are on the opposite end of the scale. Burley is not a biter, in my opinion, and in fact, I've said before and I'll say again,
it's an anti-biter.
Yeah,
right?
It cures tongue bite. I've woken up mornings when I've been smoking, when I've had a drink, and that's always a recipe for tongue bite, and I want to have a smoke, and so I smoke Burley, and it just takes the bite away. I don't know what it is. It doesn't bite, it cools, and it's usually used to cool down Virginias.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. I've even heard that sometimes blends that are advertised as straight Virginias have a bit of white Burley in them.
Oh, is that right?
That's what I've been told.
Okay,
I can't confirm. But
cheeky.
Yeah. But the Burley flavours, like toasted bread, roasted nuts,
chocolatey a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, they can be chocolatey and even like malty. The 3Ps is a good blend to showcase that. That's got the Burley plays really nicely in that, really chocolatey and malty and sweet. And I love the Burley, and you can push it hard and it doesn't bite. It will start to taste a little bit ashy if you do pushy, but I gotta say I even like that. I kind
Yeah.
of like that taste. So that's your Burleys.
Cavendish.
Cavendish will be the next one to go on to. Cavendish is not a variety of tobacco per se, but it's a method of processing.
Yeah.
So I believe it starts life as Virginia, but it spends time under a lot of fermentation. Sometimes it's double fermented, I believe, and like steamed. And what the end result is a very mild and sweet tobacco. And typically Cavendish is used as the carrier for like aromatics, like heavily topped aromatics. Or it's used it can be used quite nicely in some of the more robust blends, just like to take the edge off kind of thing. For example,
it's a sweetener.
Exactly, as a sweetener. Recently, I got the My Mixture 965, which was new to me, and it's got brown Cavendish in it, which I'd never tried before, which is slightly less fermented than the black Cavendish, but it was just as sweet.
Yeah.
And it really gave like a caramel note to that blend, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So
I've got a cupboard full of them. I went through a spell of just absolutely just going all over. Black Cavendish. Dark Cavendishes. Nougat. Stockerby Nougat. That was really good. Black and Brown, I think, has got some black Cavendish in. Pretty much all of the American series, I think, to some degree, have got some. I think, and I was just all over it. The cherry, the Gowith cherry ones are really nice. What about some of the more sort of exotic? I'm thinking like Perique, Latakia.
Yeah. So next, you would move on to what are called like the condiment tobaccos.
Yeah.
So the first one we'll talk about is Perique. Because we're smoking Perique.
Yeah.
So Perique begins its life as burley, but then it is fermented for a long time. Traditionally, I believe, inside of tree trunks, which is what the Native Americans, I believe, they were making Perique first of all. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And inside of tree trunks. And traditionally, it only comes from St. James Parish in Louisiana. I do believe that the farming has now been a bit more diversified.
Yeah.
But the flavour of Perique is it's quite strong in terms of its nicotine content, and it's got a spiciness.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of pepper to it. Also, it's kind of like a little bit of baking spice maybe, but also like a winey kind of flavour, like a dark port or like a red wine, and like stewed fruits, dried fruits, figs and prunes and dates, kind of thing.
I find it quite an unusual, flavour, and I think it gives a lot of interest.
Yeah,
to a blend that might, without it, be a little bit dull or a little bit sort of one-dimensional. It just adds something. It's got a bit of magic about it.
Exactly.
I haven't got the vocabulary for it, but it's definitely got some piques a bit of interest.
Definitely. And you see it in what we call vapors, which are Virginia, VA, Periques, PER, vapors, where, like you said, it gives something more interesting to the Virginia.
Yeah.
You can see it sometimes. You get it a little bit in English blends.
Yeah.
And I believe an English blend with a little bit of Perique is referred to as a Scottish blend. I'm not.
Oh, is that right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Where again, it adds like a little bit of spice to it. So that's Perique. And I will say, I'm talking to Matt now, because Matt mentioned that he had smoked some Ashton's Artisan's blend,
right?
Which I haven't. I don't believe you've smoked it either.
No,
we haven't smoked. But I looked into it, and it has Perique in it, and it has Orientals in it. And Matt mentioned that he was really getting a spice blast. I would say probably, Matt, that you were getting the Perique.
Yeah.
And maybe a bit of the Orientals, but probably primarily the Perique.
So what about Orientals then?
Right.
That's the subject.
Orientals, so sometimes referred to as Turkish as well. They are typically put in with English blends or Balkan blends, and they've kind of got like a...
There's a spicy combination.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
We're all friends now.
Yeah, exactly.
Side eye.
Yeah. But they tend to be sour, woody.
Yeah.
And they're typically not the main player. Like they're there as like a condiment, like Perique. So that could have been contributing to the spice that you were getting, but I think more so it was the Perique.
Yeah.
And then the last, but certainly not the least to talk about, I think, is Latakia.
Yeah.
Which is...
I love Latakia.
Yeah. Which is the smoke bomb.
Yeah.
The leaves are smoked. They originate from Latakia, Syria, where, as the story goes, the leaves were left in the smokehouse by accident. They picked up the leaves picked up the smoke, and the guys were like, this tastes great.
Yeah.
With really resinous, incensey kind of smoke.
Unmistakable. Yeah. I would say.
Yeah, it's very distinct.
And for me, for any Scotch lovers out there, that like a Lafroig, it's like smoking 12-year Lafroig. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, peaty and musky.
But it's in. Although it's kind of, it's very, very strong, and it can be a little bit overpowering, especially if you smoke it. Because there are guys that just smoke it pure. But in blends, like going back to the Squadron Leader, it's in the Squadron Leader. Yeah. And that's why I love Squadron Leader. It's just a little bit of a Latakia hit over the top of the Virginias. Yeah, it's a great smoke.
Yeah, Latakia was one of the first thing I smoked was Gauth Hogarth's Balkan blend, and the smoke came through straight away, and I was just like, yeah, this is what I was expecting tobacco to taste like. So Matt, I hope that clears it up. I think that's about everything.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you missed anything. Let's catch up on the comments. Duncan says the Chieftain Blacksmith is a good English with a healthy dose of Latakia.
We might
give that a try.
Give something like that a go, yeah.
James says, I'm trying to get the lads on Scotch Down Under to get in touch with Anthony of Bourbon Neophyte. He is probably in church though, based about 8 a.m. Nevada time.
Okay.
Just spoke to him, he'll be in soon. Oh, Bourbon Neophyte, Anthony's here.
Oh, good lad.
Thanks for joining us, bro.
Hi, Anthony.
Flat Cap Piper says percentage of sugar in Virginia is 11% versus only about 2% on Burleys. This is a big factor in why Virginians bite and smoke so much hotter. That's interesting.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for clearing that up. James says, bless your cotton socks to Anthony. It's afternoon here. Good health, Anthony. Anthony says, thank you, sir, for letting me know they were on. Thank you for joining us. And I've been watching your streams too, Anthony, with the bourbon reviews, and it's been really, really interesting.
So I went out last night for a drink with Mrs. Dion, and I sent Harry a message saying we've got a bar full of gins, full of scotches. Nothing got. I've got love a scotch.
Yeah, me too.
But they didn't have a single bourbon on the bar, and I had my bottom lip was like that all night. I was fuming.
Marron.
Not good.
Unforgivable.
We left. I couldn't. Was like, I'm going to eat a steak. I'm going to order a steak. I didn't. No. We got up and left. Like, I'm going to order a steak. I'm going to order a steak. I'm going to have to order a steak. I'm going to order a steak. And then I looked at Mrs. D. I'm like,
no.
I'm still fuming about that bourbon. We're going. And I ended up getting a Maker's Mark at one of the local bars, one of the local pubs nearby, and that picked me up a little bit. But I was fuming about it all night.
Yeah,
a good bar should have bourbon.
Absolutely, but yeah, I don't think we're too hip to it over here.
No.
At least not yet. I mean, I have been in places with good bourbons. I mean, even Brimming with Beer down the road is they got good bourbon in. Joshua Elderman says, "Cheers from across the pond, boys." Cheers, Joshua. Thanks for joining us. Oh, right. Flat Cat Piper says Latakia starts off as an Oriental leaf, right? That would make sense, obviously.
Makes sense.
Process takes a lot of the nicotine off, so Latakia is low in nicotine. Thank you. That's a good point. Yeah, it tastes very strong. There's a strong, flavour, but it's not actually particularly strong in nicotine. James says that's late night entertainment for adults. What is? And I think I missed that. But anyway, yeah. So. What else do we want to talk about?
So I wanted to touch on the building of the bar.
Right, yeah. Let's talk about that.
So Yeah, so we're at mine at the moment. I've been working on a bar for about 2 years. It's been very, very slow going, and I've finally got the cladding sorted out to put it all in. But the next this summer's project's going to be getting the bar finished off. So we're going to reorient. Once that's sorted, it'll look a bit more bar-like.
Yeah,
and we'll get the stuff facing that way.
Yeah,
get the bottles out.
That'd be nice.
And
yeah.
it will be like a proper. It will be the Green Dragon.
Yes.
Then
just add to the aesthetics of the whole thing. Yeah, because that's what we're going for. Green Dragon experience. Just a bunch of guys getting together, having a drink, having a smoke, shooting the breeze. And
because that I think for me was the most. That's the most difficult thing about getting about the smoking experience, is that in this country at least, there's nowhere that you can smoke inside.
No.
So it really puts it on the venue to be quite creative and having a nice spot to have a smoke and a drink outside. It doesn't have to be expensive. I'm just thinking of the little bar nearest to me at Maggie's.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's just a couple of gazebos, but it's just quite a cozy little bar, well stocked.
Yeah,
good stock of different spirits, and just a couple of tables. But it's just a nice outlook, and it's a good atmosphere there. But not having anywhere where you can sit inside when it's chucking it down with rain, it's freezing cold, it's not particularly appealing.
It's no bueno.
No, it's bueno. So I wanted then to think, look, this is going to kick me up the arse to go and get the bar sorted out. So that's going to be this summer's project. So although it's going to be kind of an inside project, and we're going to be doing a lot of outside smoking and outside drinking, barbecues coming up soon. That's what we're going to go for. So you'll see the fruits of that hopefully.
Exactly, and that's a good point. I'm really excited for us to be getting, like outdoors again.
Yeah.
And maybe we could even set it up that we could do like a little, probably not a live stream, but a little pipe cast from around the campfire or something.
Oh, wow, that would be great.
That'd be a good idea. Yeah. So we're gonna get out camping again. Maybe see if we can get out, do some fishing.
Man, I was just thinking the same.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of spots that's nearby. One that is literally less than a mile down the road. Lovely little old mill pond, dates back to like Victorian times, probably earlier than that. It's probably an early 1800s, early 19th century mill.
Yeah.
At Hollymore side, and that's just a great outlook. Still quite not wild, but it's got a bit of. It's not really built up. It's still quite rural. It's got the church on the corner, and it's completely tree covered. It's great. And I was thinking, like, what other experiences do we have when we're taking a pipe out and about? It's like, yes, the pub, but where else?
Yeah.
And for me, fishing is. I've picked fishing back up for the first time this year and late last year, since I was like 7 years old, going out with my dad, and we've gone back out fishing again over the last sort of 9 months or so, and I've just absolutely love it. And it's like a whole. Then it was like, we're going to going out with my dad for a bit of fresh air. Now it's all about peace and quiet.
Yeah.
A hip flask, a pipe. It's great. I can take some coffee out with me. I can take some scotch out with me, or some bourbon. And yes, enjoy the fishing, and I do. But that's only really half of it. Doing that and having a pipe is amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And it's the antithesis of the busy lifestyle, busy at home with the kids, busy at work with work, and not getting enough time to just stop and relax. And I remember a post that Scott had made on the Greenwood channel, and he was talking about getting off the bus stop, get off the bus stop, stop early, and walk back home, or don't take the car one day. Take a bus journey and get off early and have a walk around in where you live and really drink it in. That's it for me. That's what it's all about. Some real enjoyment of your local environment. I think we are very lucky.
We are lucky to have some really nice places on the doorstep, for sure. Yeah. Let's catch up on the comments.
Yeah.
Okay. Liam Walker says, "Afternoon, gents. Please keep these live streams up. None of my mates are pipemen, so I have to go on monologues about near spiritual experiences with certain pipe tobaccos, and all I get is rolled eyes." Yeah, we feel you, bro. And a lot of people have said that we're Dion and I are lucky to have each other, to smoke together and talk about. So, we are fortunate in that sense. But yeah, we feel you, bro. We feel you. Thank you for joining in. Anthony says, I did get your email and we can work on the exact dates. However, anytime you want me to pop on, just email me the stream link and I'll stop you. Excellent. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so Anthony and I have been talking about trying to work out a date when we can do a live stream together or just a podcast together. But we're really looking forward to that. Learning a bit more about bourbon.
Yeah.
Exchanging some notes and experiences, talking about tobaccos too.
Yeah.
That'll be really good. So we're looking forward to that. Highland Duncan says, you're in good company, Liam, and I would echo your request to the guys. Thank you guys. We're going to keep them up. And like I said, hoping to do them more regularly. Hoping to commit to that in future.
We were amazed at how, not just enjoy, because we knew we were going to enjoy it, but we expected it to be a bit of a grind to get it set up.
At least initially, yeah.
It wasn't at all.
It wasn't at all,
really.
yeah.
It just flowed.
Yeah, because that first one that we did on the 1st, so it's been 22 days since we did that. We weren't exactly sure how it would go, but you guys just made it because
for sure.
People came in and you made it a lot of fun, and it was exactly the experience that I wanted. Yeah, so it feels like a smoke lounge or the pub.
So that was like the pilot. Now the series is starting.
Exactly, yeah. And it's hitting its stride.
Yeah.
Flat Cat Piper says, I feel you, Liam. When no one around you is a pipe smoker, you end up talking to yourself about this cool pipe stuff. Yeah, that's true.
So last night at the last bar where I did manage to get a Maker's Mark, so I was sat down with a couple of young guys who were on the table. I can say young guys now because I've come to the conclusion that I am old now. They're all vaping, and I sat down and broke the wood out, and then I was like, "Oh, you're smoking a pipe?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "Oh, I've never met anybody that smokes a pipe." I'm like, "You've never met anybody?" Normally, I get like, "Oh, my granddad used to smoke a pipe," or like, "My dad used to smoke a pipe." Now I was like, "This is like a proper generation thing." Like, I don't know anybody that smokes a pipe. Yeah. I'm like, "Mate, you've never lived. You've never lived." Couldn't get him smoking a pipe, obviously, because like you don't really share a pipe. No. But I did hook him up with a bit of with a pinch of snuff, and that went down well. So who knows? Seed sown.
Yeah, probably, man. Yeah. Well, do you know what? To be fair, like when I was a kid, I must have been like, I was in primary school, so I must have been only like 9 or something. But I was out walking and I found like a little goldfinch that had fallen out of its nest.
Yeah.
And my mom knew a guy. I know. Apparently, you're supposed to leave them, but whatever. I was a kid. I didn't know. I just picked it up. She knew a guy who, did this sort of thing. Like he looked after birds and stuff. And it turned out he was only really around the corner from my house where I used to live. And I started to do volunteer work there. And like I would go on the weekends. I was going on school holidays, and he had owls and birds of prey, and that kind of got me into falconry and all that, and like birds of prey and stuff. But he smoked a falcon, and to be honest, I think he probably...
That scans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he smoked condor in the falcon. So
a true angler.
Yeah, and consistently bird of prey themed too. And I think he's probably the only person that I've met who smoked a pipe. I think.
So yeah, there's quite a lot of my family did, but especially my granddad and my great granddad. Great granddad was a farmer, and so all I can remember not all I can remember of the farm, but when he used to have the farm, we used to go around and he'd just be sat in the corner with his pipe and a cup of tea with honey, never sugar, always honey. And now I understand why. It's like honey with it. Like, great, like helps the tongue bite, sweet to drink up, lovely. And so like now when I'm sat down and got the pipe out, like my mum's like, "Oh, just like your granddad." And my granddad, her granddad, and my granddad, he was a pipe smoker too, but ended up getting on cigs. Hated it, detested it, but he's always said since, every time he smells a pipe, it's like, I want to get a pipe back out.
Takes him back. Yeah.
And my spiritual father as well, Father Shervan, monastic. When I was talking to him about stuff, and we talk a lot of stuff, but we were talking about the pipe, and he said yeah, when he was working on the railways, you know,
Yeah.
like, him and other guys would just be, you know, they get to like lunch break and like, right, okay, out with the pints, and a pint. And they go down the pub and get a pint and a bowl full. It's like, oh, amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And even now, I mean, his health isn't too good at the moment, but he's like even now, it's like he's still got his pipe. Like he breaks it out and just has a dry toke on it.
Really?
Yeah, loves it.
They say that Carl Jung.
Oh right, okay.
He got advised to stop smoking, and apparently he did. And he would
Who advised him? Freud.
Probably, yeah. But he would take his old pipe and he'd sort of like pretend to fill it, and he'd I guess he liked the whole ritual of it.
Yeah.
Let's catch up. Anthony says, Liam, same here in Las Vegas. Yeah. Can't imagine there's many pipe smokers in Las Vegas. Maybe it's a cigar town. James says, we all need the education. I've learned a lot from the stream already. Thank you.
Oh, well, sure.
Thank you. Anthony says, cheers to Flat Cat Piper and to Highland Duncan. It's good to be able to have this stream and to talk about the blends, whiskey and such. We all have questions or thoughts we want to express. Cheers. Yeah, absolutely. And if you have any questions or any ideas that you want to put forward, put them in the chat and we'll get it to them. Absolutely.
And I just maybe add as well that like we're still learning.
Exactly,
We've not been doing this long, have we?
Yeah, like we've learned from Flat Cat Piper a few things in this stream.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, some, the old like cottage piper and mutton chop and
all the old boys. Ashley Jeffrey says, I'm new. Can anybody please explain dental bits? Do I need one? Can't find anything anywhere about them. Dental bits, they're just like a little ridge in the bit that the teeth goes into. It's supposed to make clenching a little bit easier. Personally, I've never gone for them. I don't really see the need.
I'd say a softie
helps
with clenching.
The rubber bit on the end,
because it's kind of they've got like a raised little tip anyway to help you with clenching. I don't buy a pipe and not have a softie now.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of guys, like some of the older guys when you see them out when they're out piping, like they chew the end of the pipe off.
Oh yeah,
it's a buggery. It's like sort of ragged. But yeah, I wouldn't look any further than that really.
Yeah, so actually I would say that it's definitely not necessary, and personally it's not a preference of mine. About the chewing up the pipe, it's more of a problem with vulcanite than it is with acrylic. Acrylic doesn't really get chewed up, but it's a little bit harder on the teeth. It's a little bit, whereas vulcanite is a little bit softer, and I prefer the feel of it, but it is prone to oxidization where it gets that olive kind of brown colour.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's starting to. In fact, you can, just a little
probably
bit.
A little, yeah.
It's just starting. But a nice finish. I don't know. I like the sort of the matness to it.
You can touch them up. I'm not sure.
I quite like it. It's aesthetic. I quite like it. So
it
sets it apart, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's been used. It's been loved. Yeah. Duncan says, enriched by great company from both sides of the pond and all around this wee planet we call home. To bourbon neophyte. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about, dude. Flat Cat Piper. I don't know much about bourbon, but have extensive knowledge on pipe tobacco, so I will trade you my pipe knowledge to learn more about bourbons. I'm saying that to Anthony. Anthony says, I think this is something that is missing from YouTube. Good proper conversation with others of like-minded people who just want to sit back and talk pipes.
Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely, yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
And that's what it's about, dude.
Civilized, relaxed discourse.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And then Anthony says to Duncan, exactly, I have a YouTube channel here and do pub-style whiskey reviews, which are great, by the way. Right. Check them out, absolutely. Check out Bourbon Neophyte. I enjoy the pub, and smash like and subscribe. I enjoy the pub style of reviews where I have others from chat to join the stream. Yeah, the conversations are good.
Yeah.
Duncan says to Bourbon Neophyte, you got a new reviewer, and I'm a traditional Scottish whiskey drinker, but encouraged by us to buy his first bottle of bourbon last week.
Oh, good lad.
Nice one, yeah. And he got Bullet.
Oh,
nice.
Nice drop.
Yeah, we love Bullet.
Yeah.
Nice and sweet. That's a great bourbon.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're new to it, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of. But even then, like we've gone back to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We go back to
it
it all the time. Yeah.
We had a bottle over Pasca, didn't we? And that took a pounding. Yeah, it was good. Speaking of bourbon, you're still drinking.
Oh yeah, pour it out, man. Pour it out.
Do you know? So going back to the pub and with drinking. So I've always been a big craft ale drinker. In fact, I finished this off. Always been a big craft drinker. Love my beers. Love my milds and ports. Love the darks. Loved an IPA as well. But definitely a bitter drinker until lately, when Harry red pilled me on bourbon, and it's like I was drinking and not really getting. No, it's not about getting buzzed. It's a little bit about getting buzzed. But it's a little bit about getting buzzed. But going back to a pint and going to the pub and having a pint and having to drink all this thing together, I was really missing a bourbon.
Yeah.
I was really missing a nice drop of bourbon.
Yeah.
And eventually it got to the point where I can't. I'm gonna have to leave it.
Yeah.
This is like heresy.
Yeah.
Me of like 15 years ago, I'd be like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?" Like, no. This is the direction of travel now. I'm all about I'm all about the shores.
Yeah, I'm the same man. I mean, I'm never a huge beer drinker, but I do enjoy a beer like a stout or a porter or something like that. But like, when you drink beer, you are drinking like a loaf of bread basically.
Right.
And for me, it's just tough on me like the next day.
Yeah.
Whereas with the bourbon, I just find that like you're drinking a lower quantity to get the same kind of like pleasant warm feeling, and I love the complexity and the flavour, the smell, and I just don't feel as rough the next day.
True. What?
Salute.
So, that's lovely.
Yeah, that's good.
Lovely. So what really red pilled me on shorts was a holiday to Cuba, and I've always liked a vodka even before the forays with the Russian stuff. But it was a holiday to Cuba and got chatting to 2 Russian guys. This is before I started speaking Russian, so it was all in like broken English and sort of nods and winks and gestures. But they red pill me on not drinking with mixers, and they were like, "No, don't do that. If you want a mixer, have a glass of vodka, just with some ice and a mixer to the side." I'm like, "Why? Why would you do that? Like, it's still mixing, is it not?" And like, no. Trust us. Like, you'll feel better in the morning. It's like, okay, well, these guys obviously know what they're talking about. Yeah. And myself and my brother, we were drinking with them till sort of the early hours, like the wee small hours. We crashed out, and we got up the next morning, and those guys were still at it.
Yeah.
They were absolutely legendary. With the 2 Sashas, like, "Morning, Sasha. Morning, Sasha." Like, have you guys gone to bed? Yeah.
Wow.
And ever since then, I've been like, I'll just drink it neat.
Yeah.
But I'm drinking with ice. It was only until you red pilled me, I was like, no, don't bother with the ice.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Anthony? Personally, I like it neat. I don't like it with the ice. I just think the lower temperature reduces the flavour, and then it waters it down. And anyway, let's catch up on the comments. Mad Piper says, "Appreciate you taking your time to do these podcasts. My first time here. Very educational for a new pipe smoker like me." You're welcome, man. And
pleasure. Our pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely our pleasure. And keep stopping in. And if you've got anything you want to ask, do ask us. Anthony says he enjoys Scottish whiskey. Also, I have a good amount of Scotch along with bourbon. Welcome to join the stream.
Scotch.
I do encourage you.
Still love a Scotch.
Yeah, I like a Scotch too, but I'm mainly a bourbon drinker. But yeah, I encourage you to go to Anthony's channel, Bourbon Neophyte, and check those out. Anthony says this is a good bunch of people here. We may not always have the right answer, but we can get an answer. You can get an answer, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
He says he's been enjoying Glenmorangie Tale of the Forest.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Drop Glenmorangie, yeah.
Is it G? Glenmorangie.
Glenmorangie, yeah.
Yeah, very different from what you know about Scotch. Okay.
Yeah, it's nice. So I picked up. Actually, I was bought a bottle of Glenlivet.
Yeah. I had a
Caribbean
it was
cask,
nice.
and that was
good.
great.
Yeah.
That was a lovely drop. It's kind of got a bit of it because it's sweet. It's kind of got a bit of a twang of the bourbon about it.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's like easy drinking, sweet and tasty. Whereas, you get some scotches that can be a little bit sharp. But oh man, what a great drop that was. But I will say that much. And I've always loved a Scotch, but I'm really getting into my bourbons these days.
Yeah.
with a pipe, I think that's such a great combo.
Absolutely. Speaking of scotches, I really the first scotch that I really got me into was the Highland Park 12, which I think is recommended to beginners a lot because they say it's like just a very an example of a very well balanced scotch, and I would agree with that. I think, and then I got
West Coast. I've got a feeling it's Hebridean.
Highland Park is they do the whole Viking shtick, don't they? I think aren't they like Orkney?
Oh, cool. Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, this, Vikings used to be here and that.
Yeah, but they didn't drink scotch. Or maybe they did. I don't know.
Yeah. I like the Bunnahabhain as well.
Yeah.
Cannot pronounce the names for the life of me. But,
Bunny.
Yeah, I call it Bunny.
Yeah.
But there's the blue one, which is called Stur something. I don't know. But that's a beautiful. I think it's an Islay, right?
Mm-hmm. See, I like the Glen Nevis, Dew of the Mountain, but I couldn't find any for ages. There's a really nice little whiskey shop just up the road from me at Bakewell. great little shop, and they used to sell it, and then I couldn't get any for love nor money. But that was a nice little scotch. Very different to the Speyside. Still love a Speyside. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Glenlivet, Aberlour. But yeah, that was a nice drop.
No.
Maybe our Highland friend can point us right.
Yeah. And I've had a little try of the Japanese whiskies too, which I've been impressed with, but I prefer the Scotch, I would say.
Yeah.
Let's catch up.
And I'll say, as a fan of hiking and wild camping, so talking about the Highlands, man, I can't wait to go back. As soon as the kids are big enough, man, just amazing place. So we did the Speyside Way, and we went from Aviemore to Neddy Bridge, Boat of Garton, and just like hiked and camped for a couple of days. Went to a shop, restocked, did the same, went and restocked, and it is just amazing. So we were on Loch Garton with a hip flask and a campfire. We got it to ourselves and the Ospreys. Man, it was just amazing.
Really, yeah.
Just magical place. So quiet, so calm, and just pure. It's as close to wilderness as we're ever going to get here.
Right.
You've got all the guys over in, over the pond who are so lucky. Have got some.
Oh yeah.
Just go and get out into the wilds.
And you can hunt over there. As
right.
well.
Right. So yeah, we loved it. Absolutely loved it. Me and the missus.
This jazz is getting a bit jazzy.
A bit funky, isn't it?
So let's catch up. Bourbon Neophyte says, I was drinking a few drams last night of Ezra Brooks bourbon, 49.5 ABV. Wow. Caramel and dark brown sugar.
Turkey, innit?
Yeah. That sounds great, man. And then he says, icing whiskey, no. Yeah, which I agree with. I agree with.
Yeah.
Matt joined in, who we were talking about with the varieties earlier.
Right.
Hey guys, I'll watch this later. Thank you, man. We did mention the variety stuff that you asked about, so yeah, check that out. Ashley says, really enjoyed your blend reviews. A lot of blend reviews are from across the pond on tobaccos unavailable to us here in Blighty. Would love to see more if you get the time. Yeah, thank you for saying so. That is something that I hope to get back to.
Yeah. Because
what I noticed was that you, like, I'd be looking for something new to try, and something to catch my eye, and you want to hear some reviews.
Yeah.
And then you'd go on YouTube, and it'd be like, here's like a half an hour review, and it's like, I want like a 2-minute review.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's good. Give us the QRD.
Yeah.
Give us the TLDR.
And so what I was trying to do is like do some shorter reviews, and I tried to develop a style where I make the coffee and it feels comfy and there's like the lo-fi playing, and so that was back when it was sort of before that, like, we were doing it together. So I'd like to keep that kind of style but incorporating the both of us. So we'll have to have a think about how we're going to do it, but
do some shorts maybe.
Yeah.
Just really boil it down.
Yeah.
maybe do a video and then shoot the like edit the bits out and make those into shorts.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great shout. And speaking of reviews, how are you finding the bottom end of this?
Are you still smoking it?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's lost a bit of the sweetness.
Do you think so? Do you know what? I'm enjoying this more.
Really?
This is one of the rarest tobaccos that I'm smoking this down to the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really conical bowl and it gets really hot at the bottom here. So I don't know whether that's kind of colouring it a little bit, but I'm really, it's one of the few tobaccos that I'm really enjoying towards the bottom end. I'm getting right into the plug now, and it's great. I
think it is beautiful. I've enjoyed it all the way down. I do think it's lost a little bit of that initial sweetness, but gorgeous blend, and I'm probably going to run through that tin in no time. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Actually, there's not a lot of English reviewers doing the reviews that are of the blends that are more prevalent over here.
Yeah.
So we'll get back into them. We'll mix it up.
I mean, we love a Gowith. It's just we've not smoked any for ages, have we?
Exactly. Yeah.
We still love that Peterson at the moment.
It seems we've moved away. Yeah. Not to never come back for sure. But we are sort of like moving more in the direction of Peterson just lately. And for me personally, I'm itching to try some of the American blends.
Yeah.
I really am.
Those Burleys, man.
Yeah, exactly. Anthony says the Glenfaraghy Tale of the Forest was different. The taste of pine needles and damp moss.
That's what it's all about up there. Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Flatcap Piper says, I tried to put email here, but I got deleted. Okay. Bourbon Neophyte says, I was able to pick up a few tins of the Gowith Hog Off Brown Sugar Flake this past week. Ooh, I tried to find that before and I couldn't find it. So well done for finding it over there.
Yeah.
Liam says, if we're talking whiskey, Ardbeg 10 is well worth trying. I actually tried a drink of that on my birthday, and I'll agree with you, it was good. And if you want a very drinkable Islay, try Cool E.
Oh, Kyle Ealer.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, what a great drop.
12 year.
My dad's an absolute avid fan.
Yeah.
He red pilled me on that. Yeah, that's a lovely drop. Yeah, maybe that's the next one to buy.
Anthony, if you're still here, what do you think about the? What's your opinion on caramel colouring in whiskey, the E150 or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Personally, I'd prefer it just not be in.
Yeah.
I know that they say it's to do with like consistency across batches or whatever in terms, but I just prefer it not be there.
Yeah. And can you get it naturally? Can you get it from the casks?
I think the cask does colour it, but I think what E105.
It is 150, I think.
150, 150. It's burnt starch or something. It's caramelized sugars or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the.
Is this why? Pardon my ignorance. Is this why the the moonshiners when they were distilling?
Yeah.
Most of it's in clear, well, obviously in the jars.
Right. Yeah.
But a lot of it was clear.
Right.
Man could go for some moonshine right now.
Well, they make that from corn, probably.
Yeah, I bet so.
Yeah,
and other grains, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's really fertile in the soils.
Right, yeah.
Around there. There's not all the tobacco.
Yeah, Duncan says, Liam says, the Scottish Highlands is the most mystical or inspiring place I've ever been.
Amazing.
And to think it's on our shared island.
I know.
Yeah, I've not spent a lot of time in Scotland actually, so that'll be something that I'll have to.
And we should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, West Highland Way, Speyside Way, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I have been, it's just that it was a while ago as a kid, and I don't think we really got out into the wilderness. I can't remember where we went actually, but Duncan says to Ashley, that's exactly why these guys are helpful. I love watching the American YouTube Pipe Club, but so many blends not available in the UK, whereas these guys talk about what yeah, exactly. It is a different, we have a different pipe culture over here, just because the blends that are available, so yeah, maybe we can do that. We can talk more about Gowith and yeah.
I know that kind of I've spoken about it a little bit before about the Lakeland top in and then the blends, and it's a bit of a Marmite thing. Marmite, for those who don't know, it's like a yeast extract,
byproducts of like beer.
Right? Yeah, that's right. And the thing is, either you love it or you hate it, and nothing in between. And I've seen loads of pipers over stateside who love it. The Lakeland flavour.
Yeah.
And I've seen loads that don't. And it kind of makes it a bit of a tough one to review if you've kind of got guys who that you listen to a lot and are all about it. And they're like, no, it's not for me. They never say, it's not good. They just say, it's not for me, which is cool. But for us, I mean, for me especially, man, I love those. I love that Lakeland topping, and I love the Lakeland blends.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Lakeland blends.
It's like geranium and I like things like Wordsworth and daffodils. Smoking away, so good.
I remember the first time
quintessentially English.
Yeah, I remember the first time I ever smoked Ennerdale, and I was like,
Ennerdale,
this is just so surprising.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that tobacco could taste like this.
Yeah.
But
and it is wet. That's the big criticism that I hear a lot. It's like it's quite a wet tobacco. It comes very, very moist straight out of the tin.
Yeah.
And I agree, but I think that's part of the charm.
Yeah.
And spending a bit of extra time, just another 5 minutes rubbing out, I think it's well worth it.
Yeah. Since you brought this up, I think we should go into it. This is a topic that I was thinking about saving for like a Saturday, maybe when it was a better time for American guys to tune in. But since you brought it up, let's talk about it. The whole moisture thing. So like, I think it's a topic that's fertile for discussion because a lot of the advice online is dry tobacco. Dry the tobacco out. And that was something that I was doing. But a Dutch guy I was talking to, I was saying how I was smoking, I was trying to smoke Samuel Gowith Red Breast Plug, and I was like, it's biting my tongue, and I'm really not getting a lot of the flavour. It's supposed to have this sweet floral taste, and I'm just not getting it. I'm drying it out, and the guy was like, don't dry it out. When you dry it out, the flavour, the flavour evaporates. That's what he told me, and he was like, leave it at the moisture that it's come at. Just pack a little bit looser than you normally would. Give it a bit more go on the char and the initial light up. Yeah. And then you're gonna get a lot more flavour. And you know what? He was right.
I chuckled because I remember when you were telling me about it, because I was an absolute bugger for drying them. And what really bugged me was that I got some Navy Flake, and it's packed tight. Yeah. It's a tight flake that. Yeah. And I was just doing the stuff that Mutton Chop Piper had done. Love Mutton Chop Piper, and he was like, just fold it up and pack it in and smoke it. And I was trying that with an 80 flake, and it just would not light. It wouldn't light, which meant I was just burning it hard and toking hard, and I was just getting bitten to pieces, bit ribbons out of me. And I remember speaking to you about it, and you said, "Oh, don't dry it." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's burnt." Like, "Nah, don't dry it. Don't dry it." And you was like, "Just put a flame to it; it'll light." But it was only when I started to stop and rub out longer, and really get a good consistency before I packed, that it made such a difference. Never dry anymore. I never dry, but I always rub out.
And
I don't even stop packing now until I'm happy with the consistency after I've rubbed.
I think that's a good point, because you can get a flake, you can rub it out in your hands, and then you'll look at it and it's broken up, and you think, "Oh, rubbing out done."
Do it.
Not the case.
No.
Go at it again. It should be like angel hair.
So, for any of the bakers out there, right? I know you love your baking. For the guys who make crumbles, like apple crumble, and they say, "Oh, you make it into breadcrumbs," and how you make it into breadcrumbs is by doing that. Yeah. Right. So I'll break it into bits first. Fingertips. Break it up. Rub it in the palms, and then I'll pick it up and rub. Fingertips. Yeah. And man, that makes all the difference. And I enjoy that part of it almost as much as smoking it itself. It's on your hands. It's got its own fragrances. It's got its own experience within the pipe smoke. Yeah. It's like enjoying that first stage. It's like matins before liturgy. Yeah. You know, it's just that bit of preparation, and and even that you can enjoy it with a drink. It's nice.
Exactly.
And take your time. We're not doing this to rush. This is the antithesis of rushing. This is the antithesis of modern life. Hurry up, get it smoked. Got stuff to do. Tick tock. No. Take your time. Sit down. Enjoy it.
Exactly.
And the overall experience will be far better.
You're right, man. That's the one piece of advice that just tends to be good advice in blanket terms with pipe smoking, take your time. Don't rush.
Yeah.
Another little tip, if you're trying to light moisture tobaccos, if you're a guy who likes your snuff, sprinkle a little snuff on top.
Right.
As kindling. You
Yeah.
know. You will get an initial little taste of snuff, but it'll burn out as quickly as the snuff does. It won't affect the rest of the ball, and it just helps to get that lit. But yeah, my point being that it tends to be, when you see online about discussion, the American guys are like, Gareth, it's like, it's like a pack of wet wipes, so wet, had to dry it out. But I've really, just like you said, I don't dry at all anymore. I find that when you dry the flake,
it loses the
flavour, it loses the casing. The one exception that I will say is that if you've got some rope and it's fairly new, that probably needs half an hour to an hour of drying.
You see, I think for me, rope is better when you've bought it, you get it home, you get it in the jar, and you leave it for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then it cuts and rubs real nice.
Yeah. But when you get it initially, it's just like fudge. It's just like so moist, and it's so hard to get lit that I think I will say it's worth drying it maybe for half an hour. Let's catch up.
Yeah.
Anthony says to Flat Cat Piper, I'm going live tonight. Okay, we'll check that out.
I'll check it. Yeah.
I'm in the Pacific time zone. It'll be midnight on the East Coast. We'll probably be still awake for that.
Yeah.
I'm a subscriber to. He says he's subscribed to Flat Cat Piper. Nice. Hound Duncan. Anthony says he'd like to be able to get some of the blends that we have over here.
Maybe we could. Help out.
We could help out with that, dude. Yeah. Flat Cat Piper says to Anthony. Oh, that's just some conversation. They're talking about the live stream tonight. Anthony says the Odd Bay 10 is good. I would second that. It's good stuff. I'm such a boomer with this tech.
That's good. It's supposed to all be about anti-modernity.
Anthony says to us, I'm not a purist, so I think he's talking about the caramel colouring. So he doesn't care. Now, I do prefer non-chill filtered, right?
Okay, yeah.
And no colour added, at least 46 alcohol by volume when it comes to Scotch. That's something I look for as well, man, the non-chill filtered, which is why I like Highland Park, and it's why I like Bunny as well.
Yeah.
Another dram that Anthony's been drinking is Russell's Reserve Store Pick, 55 ABV. Yikes. From Wild Turkey. Yeah, we like the Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah.
We like that. Joshua says, I'm in the US. Seems like a lot of people dry their tobacco rather than slowing down the pace of their smoking.
Right.
You lose a lot of flavour when you dry an aromatic. Absolutely, Joshua. That's what we're saying.
100%.
Yeah. Anthony agrees. I've had to slow down on some brick and mortar blends that required me to settle down and just sip and enjoy it. Yeah, that's what it's about.
Yeah, for sure.
Anthony says, anyone able to get the Cornell and Deal Beast? No, and I've tried. And I've tried, dude. Yeah. It's small batch, so it's gone everywhere. Yeah. No, I haven't been able to get any. Flat Cat Piper says he's got some. What did you guys make of it? It sounds beastly. it sounds really good.
Yeah, it sounds a whopper.
Anthony says, I enjoy my pipe because it makes me slow down and just think and ponder the clouds. Yeah, I agree. I remember the first time that I smoked a pipe, like the first couple of times, it was summer a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and I'd just be out in the garden and I was like, it's just so enjoyable to do nothing. And it was the first time in a long time that I just thought it's enjoyable to just do this one thing and not even read, not even necessarily listen to music, although I do love to listen to music and read.
So just on that, okay, I picked it because I paint minis as well. I'm a big 40k fan, and although I'm kind of on hiatus at the moment, while 10th edition comes out, but I've been getting back into painting. That's another thing that I've started picking up this year and last year for the first time since like I was a little and again, sort of I've got stuff at work and I've got to get it out quick and it's got to be perfect, it's got to be right, I don't want to get it wrong. I was really obsessing over my painting, really obsessing over it. It's got to be the right consistency. It's got to be the right shade. I've got to get the right depth. I've got to get the right contrast. And the finish has got to be right. The basing's got to be right. And it was only when I got onto another guy's channel. I want to say Luton09. I don't think it was Luton09, but it was one of the other the Brit mini painters. And his big thing was, you're doing this as a hobby.
Yeah.
This applies also to piping, right? Yeah. So this does have a point. I know I ramble a little bit, but this does have a point. And he said, look, this is a hobby. This isn't about work. This isn't about perfection. It's not about get it out quick. It's not even about take your time and get it 100% perfect. That's not what this is about. You're not doing it for that. Hobby shouldn't be about that. It's the rejection of the mentality that you have at work.
Right.
It's the mentality that you have in your leisure time. You're doing this for pure enjoyment reasons, and if you're not enjoying it, either stop or something's wrong and change the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
But that's really prevalent, you know, and it's so hard. It's so counterproductive, and it's so hardwired into the way that we think about things. You know, that it was really hard for me to get out of that mode of thinking.
Yeah.
But ever since I picked up that channel, I'm gonna have to try and find it, and again I'll try and hook it up in the comments. But ever since I sort of picked up on that, it changed my mode of thinking with painting. I'm like, don't worry about it. If it's not 100% perfect, it's fine. Don't worry. You know, if I've not rubbed it out, you know, particularly, I've not packed it amazingly well, don't worry about it. You know, it'll be better the next time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Take your time and enjoy it.
Flat Cat Piper says he was pleased with the Beast, pleasantly surprised with it.
Okay.
It sounds nice. It sounds
good.
Duncan says agrees with Joshua. I went to try first, but as you say, it loses a lot of taste. That's my point. That's our point.
Yeah.
Now slowed my tempo and learnt the breath method, which slows and cools and allows me to taste. Yeah. Molten Shot Piper's got a lot of good videos on that.
Yeah. That was when I started picking up breath method. And I do. My cadence does change when I've had a drink. I'm mindful of it now.
Same, yeah.
Kind of puff away a bit like a chimney. But that. So he does 2 videos on that. One on the breath method and one on the either like augmented or the uprated or something or the variant breath method.
Right.
Where he'll take a couple of breaths and then he'll open his mouth and just effectively just blow out.
Yeah.
To cool it down. That changed everything.
Well, I think the thing about like pipe smoking is that it's really idiosyncratic, and I think it's good to learn these methods, like these ways of packing and these ways of smoking, like the breath method. But you're gonna find your own way to enjoy smoking.
Exactly.
You're gonna, and you know it'll be different for everybody. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Flat Cat Piper says even the wife was impressed, and she doesn't enjoy Perique. So that is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be that rum casing.
So is she a pipe smoker then?
Is the wife a pipe smoker? Flat Cat Piper? Or is she just, you know, like a passive enjoyer? Bourbon Neophyte says, we can work it out for a sample, I'm sure. Thank you, bro. And if there's anything...
Alright, wife.
Yeah, if there's anything, you know, Garwith or anything that we can help you out with, do let us know. But we'd be interested to try that.
Yeah.
The first bowl of the Beast wasn't impressive, Anthony says. The second bowl, a few days later, things started to get better. Hopefully... I will be able to get into another bowl today.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, they do tend to get better, you know, like in the jar. Flat Cat Piper says he enjoyed the second half of the bowl better than the first every time, which is what you kind of said about
right.
It.
Loved it.
Yeah,
smoked it right
this
down to the bottom.
This has been so good, and
Great
it's
smoke.
exactly what I was kind of like. Because, like I said, Anthony, I think you probably missed it for like the first couple of minutes, but since you mentioned the Beast on the first live stream, I've really had like a little craving for Perique, and I only had a little bit at home, and I smoked through it on Easter, and then I didn't have any more, and so I picked this up today, and it's just like hit the spot.
Yeah, for sure. I think the just going back to the comment on sending stuff over. So I'm going to try and make contact with a couple of our regular suppliers and just ask for stuff. I'm not going to go begging. You know, I'll make sure these guys are remunerated for what they're doing. But it'd be nice if we can get sort of access to stuff that's harder to get. So if we can put an order in, you know, special order if these guys order to reps, reps can pick stuff up, if we can review it on the channel, and get some comments across, I think that might be, that might be a winner all round.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thinking like GQ and Smoke King and JM's in Harrogate.
It's a good call, man.
Just on the
Flat Cat Piper says that the wife is a pipe smoker. We call her Lady Fire, and she's my co-host in the show. Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. We just said a couple of times how you don't like. It's not a common thing that women smoke pipes. Just I don't know. Maybe it doesn't appeal to them, or there have been pipes, like pipe makers have tried to appeal to women. They've like made like a ladies' pipe, which like it's just like a really beautiful kind of like longer stem, kind of like half church warder.
Yeah.
But
there was a guy that was a Danish guy that was showing you out a pack and light.
Yeah.
Good video, actually, really good. I'll try and hook it up on the comments. And he got two young guys. Well, one guy, one girl. Who was really into it, and but it's quite unusual. The only time I've ever seen it has been at the fairground.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool that you can enjoy that together, man. Yeah, absolutely. In other news, we enjoyed the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Man, we were getting pecked by the kids. Like, oh, can we go watch the film? Can we go watch the film? Man, it was great. It was great. So
we took the kids.
Yeah. And they were really well behaved.
They were so good. Really, really good. It was actually the first time I took my kids to the cinema.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit worried. My boy, he got excited, and like a couple of times he had to make a comment, he had to shout out, but you know what I mean. He's a kid, and he was enjoying himself. And...
So Harry's little lad and my little lad are both very chatty.
Yeah,
that's putting it mildly. That's as well as I can put it, as generous as I can put it. And they were great, and they really, really loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, my little lad, he wasn't shouting out, but he was kind of doing like the punches and stuff, like Mario was taking on Bowser. But what I loved about it was just like no like ramming home of the message.
Yeah.
It was just good. And do you know what it reminded me of for all the world? Not in the story or in the way that it was portrayed, but just in that it was just a good story and no message. It was the Goonies. Remember the Goonies?
Yeah.
So like it was just a good story that kids can just enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what was so enjoyable about it.
Like you said, there was no goofiness, there was no message. It was just, and essentially when you think about it, the basic repeating story of Mario is the story of St. George, and that's
right.
And and since it is like Western St. George's Day, it's a good topic.
Yeah.
The dragon steals the princess.
Yeah.
And the hero defeats the dragon and gets the princess home.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was they took a couple of liberties with the origin of Mario, like he's a Brooklyn plumber, which I guess was a nod to the Bob Hoskins version. You remember that?
Yeah.
Such a weird movie. So weird. But I enjoyed it. When
John Leguizamo as well. Wasn't
yeah. And Dennis Hopper as Bowser. Yeah. And it's just a straightforward story. The hero gets thrust into this new world. He's got a challenge, and he takes on the challenge.
Kind of fails as well to start with.
Exactly.
Which I like. So kind of, it's not all just that they're at his feet and he can just go and take on the world.
Exactly.
No.
He falls, he rises again.
Yeah.
And he makes alliances and he defeats the enemy and comes back to his old world and he does his family proud.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, he's become the master of. So that's like a Joseph Campbell kind of trope, like the master of both worlds. He's mastered the Mushroom Kingdom, he's mastered Brooklyn, he's the master of both worlds. And but it was such a good movie, and I took him to see it again. Yeah. So we've seen it. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna wait now.
Yeah. But it was the first time I'd been to myself. It's the first time I've been to the cinema in ages.
Wow.
Ages.
Yeah.
And I'll have another one, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, it was good. Flat Cat Piper says, I absolutely love that movie. Looking forward to Yoshi and the sequel.
Oh,
yes, that's what I said. I was
It was
surprised.
the only thing it missed.
Yeah, where was
one
Yoshi?
criticism, it was one little bit
There was like
where
a
they
couple.
showed you in the background.
Exactly, there was a couple of sections where they went through Yoshi country. The Yoshis were like, there was like a little herd of Yoshis running past. But where was Yoshi?
Yeah. I kind of missed that.
Yeah, because that's his steed. That's
right,
Mario's steed.
right.
That's St. George's horse.
Right, but again, if you kind of think of like the Mario canon, it didn't come until later.
Right,
It's like
yeah,
Mario
it was
World, right? Super Mario World.
later
so,
edition,
so maybe
yeah.
that's going to be like the next one.
Good point. But yeah, Yoshi in the sequel, that'll be...
And it was only like 3/4 of the way through that, like, Bowser. Like, is that Jack Black?
Yeah.
Like, it is Jack Black.
It was Jack Black, yeah.
Go.
And he did a really good job.
He did it justice. Yeah, he did.
He did. And it didn't take itself too seriously. Like Bowser was a goofball, and I think it like what was good is that it touched on the like how weird it is that this like dragon turtle is romantically interested in a human female. It leaned into it with the whole song and everything.
Slightly simpy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was just all around good.
Do you know what it reminded me of? Like Back to the Future, Biff.
Yes.
Like, you will be my wife, Lorraine.
Yeah.
This will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, it's been a while since I've seen that.
They won't get made these days.
No, it wouldn't. That wouldn't get made these days. No way. But yeah, it was a good all-round wholesome family movie.
Just proper entertainment.
Yeah.
And no message.
Yeah.
And the critics hate it.
Exactly. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Rotten Tomatoes score just like something abysmal, and then it was like viewer score. It's like extremely well. Yeah. I loved it. Yeah, and I would encourage you, particularly if you've got kids, go and take them to see that.
Or if you haven't, but you grew up with Super Mario.
Exactly.
You'll love it. You'll love it.
You will.
Loads of little Easter eggs.
Exactly. Yeah. Just and that's the good thing. Like the whole Witcher thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna say that I was a super fan of The Witcher, but I did read the books, I did play the games, and it was just like the people who wanted to make it just hated the people that were fans.
Especially Cav, they couldn't wait.
Yeah, exactly, and he left over it.
Right,
but
he's ours now. We've got him.
Exactly,
We've got him in the 40k universe.
Exactly,
we've got him. He's either going to be the Emperor or I don't know. I'd like him as Gregor Eisenhorn. As one of the Inquisitors, but yeah, their loss, our gain.
Exactly, but it really felt like the production team making Mario. They put a lot in for the people who loved the games.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I bet
they made it for us.
They did, and I think they made it for them as well. They must have enjoyed it.
I bet they had a load of fun.
Yeah,
they must have.
Sure. Yeah. So here's to Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah,
with Yoshi. But yeah, it was really good. It was good. It was a good afternoon out.
Anthony says, anyone into Irish whiskey like Blue Spot? I've tried Jameson's and I've tried Redbreast, but I can't say that I'm super into it, man.
Chivas Regal.
Is that Irish?
I think that's Irish. And Jameson, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I don't really get a lot of it. Look, I mean, Red Pill Me. You know, if you guys have got some recommendations, I'm more than happy to try that out. But yeah, I must say I'm more of a fan of. Been a fan of Scotch. Always been a fan of Scotch, but I'm definitely a bourbon lad now.
Yeah, for sure. Flat Cat Piper says, after the credits, Yoshi's egg cracked open. Oh man, we didn't stay. We stayed to watch Bowser do Peaches again, but it turns out that he's still tiny in the cage with the toads. But yeah, we didn't stay for the egg.
Maybe I will have to go and watch.
So that's a good catch, man. Yeah.
That's one for the Blu-ray then, maybe.
Yeah. I wonder who the villain's going to be next time. Could be Wario.
Oh wait.
Wario and Waluigi, maybe.
Yeah.
Or...
shout! Yeah. Or the.
I'm sure Bowser will be good.
What's the name of the Toad guy out of Super Mario Brothers 2? I can't remember, but it was all a dream anyway, wasn't it? So.
Oh yeah, I know. Remember what you mean? Yeah. Super Mario Brothers 2 was weird because it was not originally a Mario game. It was a game called Doki Doki Panic, and it's got all the vegetables in, right?
It's totally different, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Shy Guys and stuff.
Yeah, it's just a completely different like gameplay. Like you pick up the vegetables and throw the vegetables, and the characters can float. And...
Yeah.
It was so weird.
It was weird.
And it had
in Japan, it wasn't. They didn't have
right.
that Super Mario
Exactly.
Bros. 2.
Yeah.
They had what we had, the Lost Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I remember thinking as a kid, it's such a weird game. Yeah.
But they're not daft. I've started playing the old Super Mario Brothers since, like on the Switch. I've got all the
Did you subscribe to the NES pack?
I have subscribed to the NES pack.
My little boy's got it too, and do you know, for years and years, I remember distinctly. I remember my mother taking me to Little Woods, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And there was a little place in there. I don't know if it was game, but you had to go through Little Woods to get to it. And I remember her buying me the cartridge for Super Mario Brothers Yoshi's Island.
Yeah.
The original Yoshi's Island on SNES.
Yeah.
And that game was... I loved it so much.
Yeah, it was so good.
The artwork, the visuals, the gameplay, it
Yeah.
was just amazing. And for so long, like, it wasn't on the Wii Virtual Console, but it came on the Switch.
Right.
And I had so much fun playing it again.
Good.
Yeah.
I had Yoshi's Safari, with the scope pack.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I remember that the NES had the blaster, and the SNES had the bazooka.
Yeah.
It was really good. Yeah. So I've moved on to the 3Ps, and it's great, but I really enjoyed the rolls, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed.
I'm just on the last plug at the bottom now, and I've got to say, it's been an excellent smoke.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Did we have anything else we wanted to cover today, man?
I think that's pretty much covered us.
Yeah, we talked about Pasca, we talked about the movie, we talked about the tobacco varietals, we covered moisture content.
One thing I did want to touch on just before we sort of wrap up was about going back to the breath method and about the retrohale.
Right.
The naughty.
Yeah,
the naughty
retro,
yeah. Kind of what other guys' thoughts are on it. But I do feel that that gives a different aspect to the flavour of a tobacco.
It definitely does. I mean, taste is like, I think some majority percentage of, it's in the olfactory.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I think, like the odd retrohale, but I think I got into a habit somewhere along the way of just abusing it. Like I do it all the time now. Yeah, just coming out the nose. I look like Bowser.
But without the sin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I think the odd retrohale is fine.
Yeah.
And it does allow you to appreciate some of the more like subtleties of the flavor. I've been doing it with cigars, and some of the like Nicaraguans, especially like the like the darker ones, like Maduros and stuff. The pepper just like in the nose.
Yeah.
Really stings the nostrils
in a good way. And I find that as well. Like some blends are better suited to it than others.
Yeah.
Like you'll get some definitely some extra flavors that you don't get normally, but not every blend.
No.
Some blends I think it's better to just smoke as you would normally.
Let me give this a little. Yeah, a lot more of the spice, a lot more of the pepper.
Yeah. No, it's a good shout. Good shout.
Yeah. So the old Peterson Deluxe Navy Rolls gets a seal of approval from us. The old Sweet Galena seal of approval. A little bit more whiskey talk. Redbreast is great. Yeah, Redbreast was good. Another Scotch that Anthony's sipping is the Glenlivet Nadura, 61.5 ABV. Yeah, sweet and peat. That sounds nice. Flat Cap Piper's leaving for church. God bless, brother. God bless. Thank you for joining in. Forgetting that it's still early for you guys.
Yeah. Quite right. Get your services in.
Yeah, that's it. The Glenlivet is a finished Scotch in ex-peated whiskey barrels.
Okay.
So that sounds good.
Yeah.
That'd be good with an English.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, should we wrap it up there?
I think we will. So
we've done an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for joining in. It's been great again. What should we say for the next one?
Happy to take comments. If there's anything particular you want us to review,
yeah,
I think that would be good. Drop some comments in the chat, and we're quite happy to pick those up before next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will have my new pipe.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So I will do a bit of a review on that.
Yeah.
On near ups because it's the first near up I've ever had.
Yeah.
Nordin, who apparently used to work for the guy, used to work for Nordin, but it's the first proper near up I've ever picked up. So I'll do a little bit of a thing on that. Maybe an unboxing if I can wait.
Yeah. I couldn't.
I'll do my best. You did very well with the navy rolls.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, get it open. Like, no, we'll wait.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do something on that. But yeah, in terms of themes, happy to be led.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah.
This is kind of community time.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
We want it to be more of a community thing,
Yeah.
and like Dion said, really open to your guys' input. And I think what we're looking at doing is working out like a section towards the end where you guys can, call in on Zoom or whatever. We're probably gonna
test that out.
Test that out. Yeah. But in terms of like when we're gonna do it again,
if guys are happy with it, I think Sunday seems to work for us. It's a pretty good day. Obviously, when we've got church, but normally we're finished by about this time.
Yeah.
So that's good. That means we've fasted properly and we've prayed properly and we've had communion and we can loosen up a bit.
Yeah. But we'll keep in touch on the community tab about when we're gonna stream again.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get back to some we'll do some reviews. I think Liam mentioned doing some more reviews, some more edited stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get back into that. But I think both of us are really enjoying the live streams.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah,
it's been good.
So right, shall we?
Will. Yes.
Thank you very much for joining in.
Thanks all.
God bless.